Today in this video, we're gonna go over how to set up the 360 photo booth. Real simple, let's get to it. So the first step to get your 360 booth, obviously, is to take it out this case. Now I do suggest that you get a case when you order your 360 photo booth. It does come with wheels at the bottom and it makes it a lot easier to transport. I'll let you know right now that mine is too big to fit in my little car, my little Ford Focus. It's just barely too big to fit in there. So if it was my choice, what I would have done is I would have got a 360 photo booth that was smaller than 100 centimeters. The next lowest is what I would have got. That probably been a 3-person photo booth, 360 booth, and this one holds about 4. But that's probably what I would have did if I want to be a more mobile person that goes to each venue and set up the 360 booth. But let's get right to it. So first, obviously, I'm gonna take it out the case. It is pretty heavy for 100 centimeters. Like I said, then we're just gonna place it on the floor just like that. Now keep in mind, when you place it on the floor, you wanna angle the piece under it, the power supply, where you plug it in at, towards your outlet. So just give me 1 second, I'll show you that in a second. So just so you guys can see, I wanna show you a better clip of what I'm talking about. So under the 360 photo booth, there's gonna be a power supply. See right there? That is this power supply. And right there is where you plug it in at. So you want to have this be the closest object to your power supply. That way your cord doesn't have to go across the whole 360 booth from the other side just to get over here. So now with that being said, let's plug it up. Now on our cord specifically, it looks very similar to the cord that we use for other devices like our light stands. So just keep in mind that this one says AC adapter right on it, okay? That way you can hopefully differentiate this one from the other ones. We've noticed that we had the wrong light cord plugged up to the 360 booth when it was running slow, and that was the cause of it running slow. So just make sure that you plug up the right cord to the 360 photo booth so you don't have any problems running the day of the event. So what I like to do is make sure I go under and then plug into the base of the machine just to make sure that the head that turns around, that little piece that turns around to make everything move, doesn't hit the cord. That's the whole purpose of me having to go under. This way I'm kind of guaranteed that I won't touch it. Now let's move in to installing the phone holder to the 360 photo booth. So the next thing we're gonna get is this piece right here. We're gonna unplug it right down here. Yep. And I like to put it pretty close all the way up to here. I don't think you have to, but that's just my personal choice. You can put a little space in between, just because sometimes people's feet come a little bit off the edge. But I would just, in my opinion, I would just be more on them just to make sure that they're completely on the 360 booth. I always center them before they start. That way we don't have any complications during the event. So we're gonna take off these 2 pieces right here. These are the 2 pieces that go in between here to lock in that piece. We're gonna grab our first piece. We're gonna put it in the first hole at the bottom. And we're gonna connect that through this piece in the center. All right, guys? Pretty straightforward. Now it is kind of, touch and go when you do it. But once you get it through, the next part is just tightening it up. Now for the second one, it's your preference. You notice that the second hole's a little higher on the wheel, okay? And it's up to you to kind of decide how far out you want this to hang. Now I typically go about 2 from the top, away from the center of the 360 photo booth. So I'll go 1, 2 over, and I'll point it out to you on the camera. So I start at the top and I go 1, 2 over, and that's pretty much where I like to have it. That's just kind of my preference. And from there we just tighten. Now we're one step closer to finishing the 360 booth. We extend out, turn this towards the center, place our camera right onto the 360 photo booth in the orientation that works best for you. And then I always like to give it a test walk around just to make sure it's not hitting anything. So I walk with it, make sure it's not too close to any drapery, any people. During the event, what I would most likely do is actually have my my ropes and sanctions around the perimeter and leave a little gap so people don't get hit by it. Next thing we're gonna do is plug it right in. And voila, now that we've tested the perimeter, we hear a little beep that is connected. Now that we have the app open, you wanna go here just to double check that's connected. I'm gonna hit connect new, connect to this one. Now that we are connected, I like to go over to the controller. I typically put it at 20 seconds, and I put it on the fastest setting. That's up to 8. And now I give it a test run before I start the event. And we can see, swings around perfectly. Now, it's like I said, I like to do a completely wireless setup. So now the 360's on, the camera's on, and I can sit right here, start and stop, start and stop.